안녕하세요. najummateacher입니다.
안녕하세요.
The reason why we talk on Zoom is because of this virus and we should keep a distance.
Yeah,
So
social distancing.
social distancing.
But some people don't like that term because social means like interacting with people and talking with people in some way, shape, or form. So if you say social distancing, some people get depressed, like a little sad, like I'm going to be isolated or I'm going to be lonely and things like that. So I try to think about it as being physically distant but socially connected in a digital way nowadays.
Yeah,
So,
we're socially connected now,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, we text each other and everything.
Yes.
So
Although we cannot hug each other. Yeah, just
virtual hug.
hugs. Virtual hugs. Another term. Speaking of which, I want to cover some English expressions related to this difficult time because of coronavirus.
Coronavirus, also known as COVID-19.
Why 19?
19 is the year it started, basically, over in China. That's why it has 19 instead of 20. So COVID is basically coronavirus disease.
So we talk about social distancing. In a sentence, I should say we should keep social distancing.
It depends on how you want to phrase it. So we should keep a physical distance or social distance, which has become the big term nowadays. A good sentence that you hear around is practice social distancing to stop the spread, to prevent the spread, to reduce the spread, something along those lines. You hear a lot of messages similar to that. Another one is stay home, stay safe. The governor here is avidly using. In some other states, they might be saying the same thing or something similar. So now there's this stay home, stay safe executive order in Michigan.
I've also heard about expression cabin fever.
Yeah, cabin fever. Cabin is just normally small. There are big cabins now, but long time ago, just a small house made out of logs. It's basically just cut the tree, roll it over, and start building a house with it. That's basically what the traditional log cabin or cabin would have been like. Now they have it all kinds of style. Cabin fever is basically you're stuck in a place. Long time ago, it used to be people during the winter because in the winter, if you stay outside too long, you would freeze and die. So you only go out if you really, really needed to. That's why the term cabin fever came about in a way. Some people feel a lot of stress if they feel like they can't go outside. Everybody's personality is different. You know, staying home for me is not bothering me so much, but there are some people who it is bothering them. They feel like I have to go out shopping. I have to do this. So they have cabin fever. They will go crazy. That's what cabin fever is.
Then in that case, I have a cabin fever. Can I say that?
Close. I'm having cabin fever. I feel like most people just say like he has cabin fever or he's dealing with cabin fever or stressed from cabin fever. So this is something that is very new and also very stressful.
I haven't heard about that expression that, you know, because of this situation.
Yeah, this situation is bringing it out.
I've heard about that.
It's something that people are experiencing for the first time. And we're the state that we are because it's not so overly super populated to the point like if everybody, you know, goes out every once in a while and walks around a tiny bit, it's not going to cause like big, massive groups. But big cities like New York and LA and other places like that, if a lot of people go out, it almost is like the typical day. So rules over there and the regulation for their executive order might be more strict than the ones here, depending on the state. That's a big thing in the US. Each state is a little bit different. So some common things that people are talking about, instead of social distancing, try to think about it more as physical distancing. It's not as popular, but some people are trying to make it a little bit more popular because some people are becoming depressed, feeling isolated from each other. And then also, I guess, checking up on people, keeping in contact with people.
Yeah.
Checking up on people, checking in with people. You can say that as well. There's volunteer programs as well. If you dial 211, that is like the volunteer line for, I think, majority of the U.S., if not all the U.S. So you can go ahead and figure out, like, for example, one way of volunteering would be contacting people in your area, some residents in your city or county or things like that. So they might give you some way of contacting elderly people who might be very isolated. Like they cannot really go shopping for whatever reason because they could possibly really get sick. So checking in with them, you know, seeing how they're doing and other things like that. People you probably never met. You can go ahead and see how they're doing. But also checking in with your family and friends as well. So maybe asking them simple things, how are you doing? Or how is everything going? Those kind of simple things can really help somebody. Or even just telling people, even if you know the person will probably never ask, you can just say, I'm here for you. I'm there for you. If you need help with something, let me know. If you need to talk about something, let me know. You can always contact me. Those kind of things are good too. Because a lot of people, like for me, I have my parents and my dog, and I'm okay with communicating with technology, so I don't feel so lonely. But there are some people who really do feel very lonely right now. So I think that's an important thing. There's so many terms and technologies, about self-quarantine and everything. You can go on and on because these are things we've never had to deal with since the influenza of 1918, like a little over 100 years ago. That's the only time the U.S. was really shut down for a disease in a way. These are basically very new terms and new culture. So shaking hands and other things, it's very hard to break habits. Instead of like shaking, some were doing like quick high fives, some were just doing this because we don't touch our face with this part of our hand, and doing elbow bump. But if you do elbow bump, you're very close to the person, even closer than if you do fist bump.
Right. So with a fist bump, we can do just like that. But elbow, we should get a little bit closer.
Yeah, you get really close. And then it just evolved. Just don't be close to each other. First, I think it was like around 3 feet. And then now it's 6 feet. So it slowly progressed more and more. And now it's just like stay as far away from people as you can who are not living with you.
We can also say stay safe, stay healthy.
That's what I say to the people who deliver our groceries. I hope I pray that you are healthy and safe during these difficult times. Those people are risking their health and risking their life to go out there and shop, along with the first responders and doctors and nurses who are also in the situation. Those people are going to the grocery store and could potentially get sick as well. I feel like they're making a big sacrifice. So if you do use delivery, please tip them well.
All you need to do is to stay home, and that's it. But they are on front lines. Really appreciate them. Speaking of which, I made a video to appreciate
that's good.
I played the USA national anthem, thinking of American people here.
It is very hard for a lot of people. You are a doctor or a nurse or somebody else with a family. If you go and do that, are you going to go back home, or are you going to just stay in a hotel because you don't want to get your family sick as well? So that is a very big sacrifice that people are making. From the delivery people and people working at the stores, the pharmacy, all of them could potentially get sick because they are obviously around people. So I think they are making a big sacrifice. They know that they are appreciated, and people show their appreciation.
Right. Hope this virus will go away soon, but we should hang in
but
there.
We're learning a lot.
Hang in there. We should get through this together.
Yes,
right?
We will get through this, right?
Thank you so much.
So stay home, stay safe, which I'm pretty sure you are, and we'll get through this together.
Let's get through this together.
Yes. Take care.
Stay safe and stay healthy.
So goodbye.